Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode, I have no idea, of the WinBeta Podcast.
It's episode 29.
29!
You messed up the intro. I always mess up.
For the week of August 21st, 2015. I am, as I said, Sean Michael, and with me his co-host, Zac Voden. Say hi, Zac.
Hello, everybody.
And this week we talk about all sorts of stuff. We got Windows 10 builds because we have an actual build to talk about, then build 10,525. Poll results related to some of the features, not in that build, but that we might want in the future. Updates, counterfeit game controls from Microsoft, hardware launch events. Some unfortunate news about jobs in Finland related to Microsoft, which we knew was happening, but is now going to be a little more official. And then we have some Xbox news about high-quality streaming, backwards compatibility, not being silly. I think that's the quote, that is not silly for the original Xbox. And then, if we have time, talk a little bit about maybe the Intel RealSense camera. Tell twins apart. Pretty cool. So, yeah, before we get into any of the news stories, we have things to swoon over, Zac.
Yes, we do.
A very attractive new website has emerged on the web. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called WinBeta.org, and they have this new layout that is all powered by WordPress, and it is extremely attractive. Have you checked it out yet?
I have not. Tell me more.
Okay. Yeah, they used to be powered by something else, which I don't know if I should say because I don't want to feel like I'm slamming them. But we're now powered by WordPress, and they are wonderful.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's easy to edit, fun to use. You can personalize how your editing page. But for you guys looking at the site, it looks a lot better. We're still looking for feedback, though. Ron did a tremendous amount of effort with some help from us, but he did the lion's share of that. So if you have feedback or there's a page you run into with a bug, please let us know. But for now, we're going to swoon about it a bit. What do you like about the site, Zac?
I like the new design. The design's pretty cool. I like the speed is another thing that I'm really impressed with, because the site before was pretty fast, but with the new site we're even faster. We're getting like 0.5 millisecond load times and stuff. It's pretty fast.
And that's a lot of things. One of them is like the discuss comments don't load unless you go look to load them.
Yeah.
And that, like, these little things like that make it a lot faster. I love the new, and I'm not just advertising. Like, I actually do like this. Like, I'm not just. It's like Ron didn't tell us to hype up the new site. I love the new photos that go all the way across. I think it makes the site look really professional.
The design's very nice.
Yeah, when I go back to my university, they use WordPress, and their site does not run like this site. And I am actually going to show them and be like, look, I'm an editor on this website, and they use WordPress correctly, and it looks wonderful. And this isn't. So also, when we do stories on apps, you get, like, instead of a download link, you get this really attractive, like, little rectangle at the bottom that you can click to make it a QR code as well.
Yeah, so overall the site is a vast improvement from the last site. If you haven't tried it out, I'd suggest you go and try it out at winbeta.org. So,
which hopefully you know about. If you somehow found us without doing that, good on you.
You know what's funny? I can see, just moving off topic slightly, you know how everyone's saying my microphone's really quiet? I'm literally watching the volume slider go down as I talk because Skype is making it go down.
So, like, you talk in it.
Yeah, and I'm pulling it back up every time. See, it's dropping again. Oh, it dropped to 50. Back up to 80 you go. So if my audio levels are up and down, it's gone down to 60 again. Up you go. I'm going to be fighting a volume bar all podcast. So
just click and drag and hold it there.
You know what? I tried. It just lets go. I'm going to hold it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Wonderful.
So also this week, minus the brand new website, Microsoft released a new Windows Insider build for the desktop. Insiders will know that last week there was a phone build from the TH2 branch, and that kind of like signified that the Insider preview is back. And now with this week, we got a new desktop build, which kind of signifies properly that the build that the Insider preview is back. We now have A server build came out as well officially this week as well. It leaked last week. It's the same build, but it's now out officially, so the server admins can test that. The new the client desktop build for Insiders build 10,525 includes only two notable things really. Colored title bars, which isn't really special. It was something many people requested, and now it's back. And the other thing is memory management, which is an under the hood change, which kind of makes using system memory a lot more faster, and just utilizes and uses it in a more intelligent manner. So that's great for those who have like a limited amount of memory and all that good stuff. That should hopefully speed up your device. But other than that, that's about it. So it's not a gigantic change from what the Windows 10 RTM is, but it is a start.
Start. I get it. So let me ask you about the memory compression thing. You haven't used this build as like an everyday thing yet, have you? You did like the video, but are you using it on your main PC?
No, I'm on the RTM still.
Right. So do we know in practice how much of a difference that's making yet?
I don't.
Because that's a cool feature. Like, I like that they're trying that, because they're trying to figure out ways to compress the memory. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't know if that's actually doing anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it is for those, because it doesn't kick in for like just normal when you're using your PC normally. It only kicks in when you need it. So,
okay.
Like when you're on your CPU. So I guess if I was running that build now and I was streaming with the actual Skype desktop client, it would probably be doing something like that. So
okay. Well, because I know that we have an issue sometimes with the stream where there's just too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Now, what is this compressing?
I believe it's compressing system. It's using something about page. I should open up the page and read about it. It's something about paging. So let's see. We've added a new concept in the memory manager called a compression store, which is an in-memory collection of compressed pages. This means that when memory manager feels memory pressure, it will compress unused pages instead of writing them to disk. This reduces the amount of memory used per process, allowing Windows 10 to maintain more applications in physical memory at a time. This also helps provide better responsiveness across Windows 10. Blah, blah, blah. The compression store lives in the system processes working set, so it's all under the hood. And that's pretty much it. So with the paging system on Windows, it saves it there, then straight to the disk.
Well, hopefully it'll help. I think for like a device like mine, where memory can actually be an issue, like if I try to do video editing, like on Premiere Pro, it actually can create some issues because I don't have a super powerful device. With your new custom built PC that you're making, maybe this doesn't affect you at all.
I guess if I was pushing my even to the most powerful, if you're pushing it to the limit, it will kick in. So
yeah, that's true. Which you'll probably figure out a way to do.
Yes, we'll probably just
be
launching XSplit,
Skype, and XSplit, and OneNote, and the site, and while I'm also editing video while doing the podcast live.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Inserting sound effects with a board that you have on the side.
Dinner. The Windows XP login theme.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's about it from the update, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much
from the build, rather. Sorry,
I mean, there will be more features coming in future builds. But...
Well, the big ones coming up. So we had a poll this week, kind of stemming from that update, because in that update we got colored title bars, which you don't really like.
I'm not a fan of them.
Is it because they're designed poor? I haven't run the build
yet. They don't
either.
look very nice, I don't think. And okay. I mean, when I used Windows 7 and I guess Windows 8, Windows 8 is kind of unavoidable, but Windows 7, you got like the same color picker, a different color picker, but the concept's the same. I always used like the plain white one because it just looked normal, regardless of what wallpaper I had.
Does this look any better or worse than the old colored title bars from like Windows 7?
It looks worse, I think.
Okay.
It needs transparency to actually like have a good effect.
Well, you are one of many people who thinks that. Did you know that?
Yes.
So we had a poll this week, as we do every week. We're going to go a little bit differently today and just go through like every option. So the question in this week's poll was, which feature should arrive next in Windows 10? This was more like not edgy stuff, not in like the word edgy, but in Microsoft Edge.
This stuff's pretty
because we
edgy.
know new stuff's coming to that.
Yes.
This is like cosmetic stuff or like features that they haven't mentioned. This is stuff we don't already know is coming or they aren't already working on. So we had the options: arrow title bars, dark theme that's everywhere. Not every app. I've been playing around in the feedback app. Just about every section, someone just says dark theme, and it's got a bunch of upvotes. Login screen customization, and then shape writing keyboard. So before we get into the actual results, which one of those do you want the most to arrive next? You got to pick one.
I would like the dark theme to arrive next.
Is that, would you, for app specific, just the whole OS?
The whole OS. I like a light/dark theme so I can switch between them whenever I want. And an option to have it change from light to dark once it hits a certain hour. So in the evening, when it's getting dark outside, Windows will know it's getting dark and switch to dark mode to reflect that.
What if you combined it with a sensor where it knew how much brightness was in the room?
That would be even better. With the Intel RealSense cameras, that could be a thing, I believe.
I don't think you need a RealSense camera, right? I mean, phones already know like auto brightness settings. They could just
that's
play
an
with
ambient light sensor, though. That's not the camera sensor. That's like a dedicated bit of hardware that they use that with. So maybe, I don't know, but that would be a cool feature. I know third-party programs can do things already like that, but it would be nice to have it built into Windows.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So for me, let's see here. I think, me personally, I'd want shape writing because I use my computer or my 2-in-1 as a tablet quite a bit. Yeah. I did a whole article on this. You can go read it. But I guess to summarize, like, I want to use a stylus and a half keyboard on the screen where I can just go like this and do shape writing. I think it actually might be faster. I don't want to say than typing. Almost nothing's faster than typing if you're a really good typist. Yeah. But it would certainly be faster than two-hand thumb texting because you're combining a stylus with shape writing, and you just be like, and then I'd want a resizable keyboard with it. Because if it's like 10 inches wide, that doesn't do anything.
No.
Hi, I have a 20-inch screen. Hello, how are you today?
It's a workout.
Who needs the Kinect? You have shape writing on your 27-inch wide monitor.
And your Surface Hub.
Yeah. I guess other Surface Hub's wider than you. You'd have to actually run. What are these other options here? Arrow title bars? You want those, right?
Yes, arrow title bars would be
fun too. I guess we'll let you pick more than one because I want to go through all 4 of these.
Yes, I'd have dark theme and arrow title bars, or at least like glossy, blurred, frosted glass. No, not frosted glass, but like how it is in the start menu.
How about transparency in Windows 10? I would love to have it be customizable.
I don't see the point.
Well, some people want like 10%, some people want 20%.
But why? You either want transparency or you don't. You don't want. Look, I want 45.8% transparency.
I don't know why. Do people like transparency strictly for cosmetics?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a cosmetic thing.
A functional use for transparency is I have a touchscreen. I have a let's see, I don't know what it's called, like touch mouse pointer. I can drag, instead of touch screening, I can drag a mouse around with my finger on my touch screen. Another feature that comes with that, I think you have to have the paid version, is that transparent touch keyboard.
Yeah.
And you can customize the opacity of that one, which makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
For a transparent keyboard, because you need to be able to see through it, but some people might want different levels of see-throughability.
I don't need to see through the start menu. If I'm opening the start menu, it's because I'm looking for something on the start menu. I'm not looking behind the start menu for anything. So, yeah. I mean, same with the notification sensor. It doesn't need a transparency slider, I don't think. It just needs to have better transparency. All right.
Well, maybe it doesn't need the slider, but people want options.
People want it, and I just don't see the reason why. But then again, for a long time I was one of those who didn't see a reason for tabs in File Explorer. But I was shot down with that, and I actually see now why people would want that.
I hope that Microsoft over time, because we were talking, there's actually quite a few bugs in Windows 10. And like right now, if I go to my desktop, it's just white. There. Like if I'm in like right now, while working completely everywhere else, my desktop is just gone, and that happens to me pretty regularly. Sleeping, waking up, etc.
Yeah.
I hope they fix that first, but I hope that Windows as a service, just over time, we end up having like every customizable option you could want.
Yeah.
Because eventually they'll get like the big bugs fixed, right?
I mean, at some point, Windows kind of was like that. I mean, with Windows XP, you could do a lot.
Right, and that's what I mean is like 5 years from now, they'll still be running Windows 10. They'll have the bugs fixed. Messaging app will be there. Redstone will be out. Edge will actually have tabs you can drag around in a favorites bar.
Edge and its ability to drag tabs is the worst.
How about Edge's ability to like do anything right now? Like
using Twitter.com with Edge browser is just worse than here.
I can't edit the site on Edge. If you hit enter when trying to like type on Facebook, it doesn't work.
Edge is just appalling right now. Has anybody had this issue where you have a window open and you have another window, like two Edge windows, and you want to drag one Edge tab to another? You drag that tab out, but it keeps that window you dragged it from there, so it just creates a new start tab. So, and then you try to pin it to the other window you're going to, but then it misses, and then it creates like another separate window. So then you're left with three windows, even though you had two to begin with, and you needed to like. So you try to move one to two, but then it doesn't work. It moves one, but keeps one, and then you can't drop it on two, and then it creates a whole nother one because it doesn't drop on two, and then you've got three. And if you try to do it again, it adds another one and another one. It's the worst in here. It's just
so it's supposed to go like that. But it's like
yeah, it's just what are you doing? Just creating more and more tabs. It's just it's the worst experience. But I use Edge every day, which annoys me. I don't use Chrome or Firefox.
I want Edge to work. I use it for like casual browsing. But when I'm working, there are things I need to use Chrome for. It's actually I hate to admit this, it's my default browser right now, just because
you traitor.
Well, it's like I said, I use Edge as much as like when I watch Hulu or go on like the site, but I'm not editing the site, when I'm just reading our stuff but not editing.
Yeah.
I'll use Edge. But I can't edit. If you hit enter and it like jumps to the top of the page, how can I use Facebook? Like, it's not like some parts of it aren't even usable. So I hope Microsoft fixed that stuff first.
Yeah, someone says they get tabs that just delete themselves. I've had that as well. Just go away. All right, bye.
but like you said, in Windows XP, I hope we get to that point with Windows 10. That should be one of the benefits of Windows as a service, is that they fix the problems, and then they're like, "Oh, what do you want to do today, Jim?" And it's like, arrow title bars.
It's just they've got a list. It's like a jumbled list. Like the most popular things are just mixed. They're like, let's add some under the hood code that nobody's asked for yet because it's at the top of the list. And then like 2 years later, arrow title bars. We should get on that.
Actually, to their credit, if you go into like the feedback app, which I was going to do, but I don't feel like finding. Who knows? I might end up on my white desktop. In the feedback app, color title bars were like the number 1, 2, and 3 requested feature in that section.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody says go to the feedback app. That the Microsoft would do it if you want. They're not doing everything, not yet anyway.
Well, they're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna do it.
Like arrow title bars was in the top 10 requested features since October. And they didn't do nothing since October last year, so they haven't done anything with it. So they at first I'm sure they couldn't have just gone. They couldn't have not seen it. They'd seen it and probably said we're not doing that. Not yet. Until it's like. It's just I don't understand. They should have done it because they did a bunch of. What did they do? The start menu.
The start menu has arrow, right?
Yeah, the start menu, the task.
I'm looking at you through my start menu right now,
but not the title bars, which is strange. I guess it's a thing to do with like the new modern UI title bars because they're slightly different. But I don't know.
I don't know. So there's that, and then some people really want to customize their login screen, which I guess I can understand. I mean, you're literally at your login screen until you are at your computer, right?
Yeah, I mean, every other operating system that I know of, the wallpaper on the login screen is the same as your desktop.
Yeah, and you should be able to change it. It's kind of silly as you can.
So I don't know.
Let me get you the official results so we can move on. Dark theme. Let's see, how many votes did we actually have? It was quite a few this week. 1,629 votes. Yeah, quite a few. Yeah. Dark theme won 37%. That's not a surprise. Arrow title bars, 30%. Also not a surprise. Login screen customization, 22%. And shape writing, the dark horse, is not. It's not doing well. 11%. So I guess no one cares about shape writing. I mean, they do, but not as much as this other stuff. So
yeah. Shape writing can come last.
Zach, it's a tablet operating system. They would be the only tablet that had swipe. Well, I don't know that for a fact, actually.
I don't think iPad has it.
Well,
Oh no, iPad must have it because iOS 8 introduced that, didn't it? No,
iPhone doesn't even have swipe now.
yes, no, third-party keyboard support. That's what it has. Yes, so yeah, it doesn't have it built in. You're right.
Yeah, and so I certainly don't think it's on the iPad, but I don't know Android tablets that well, to be fair, so they might have it. But it would be a good selling point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah. So those are all the things that we want, but you know what we got recently?
What did we get?
None of it! Because we just got a cumulative update. So Zach and I were talking about this before the show. These stories are going to get really old if we tell you about every single update that ever happens to Windows 10. Because this literally, let me see if I can get the quote here. This update includes improvements to enhance the functionality of Windows 10. That's all it says. Like, quite literally, and then it just added, like, their updates are cumulative, so you don't need to... Like, if you just install cumulative update 3, you don't need to install 1 and 2, which is what the definition of cumulative is, but it's probably worth clarifying. Someone said Android does have swipe, so... and like you said, they have third-party keyboard support. So, well, then that's even more argument to have it, because then you're behind the curve and you need to figure it out. So, yeah, cumulative update 3 helped improve Windows 10. The KB article on it was really short. And some people are upset because they want more detail. But sometimes I don't think there are going to be details on this sort of thing, right?
No, I mean, sometimes they can't either, because I know many people think that they just they have like an internal changelog. They don't always. So it's like for them to bring it all together is difficult. But not only that, I can see like the reason why people are mad, like enterprises who need to know.
Yeah.
What it's changing, that this is going to be a problem, but for normal consumers it doesn't matter, because I know for a fact that the average Joes that I know do not go into Windows Update. Go, right, I need to see exactly what's in this update before I update to it. No, they don't do that.
Right. Yeah. The people that seem to care about this are enterprise. In fact, in our comment section, I think most of the people are like, I could see why enterprise users would want that sort of thing. So that's understandable.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cumulative update 3 improvements, but you know they're still working on it, and I think they'll tell us when there's major stuff. I would hope that if because with the security, some people are taking this to me a little too much. They're like, I'm not trusting Microsoft because these security settings, and now they have a short changelog. What are they doing? Did they update it where you can't customize your own security settings? I don't know what they think is going to happen, but. I don't know. Maybe I trust people too much, and I need to be more cynical.
So moving on to other news of the week, people were digging into the Windows 10 end-user license agreement recently, and they found references to counterfeit games and how Microsoft doesn't like them and will stop you from playing.
Shocker.
Yeah, playing counterfeit games. Now, this is very interesting because it's not clear on what they mean by that, because on a PC, there are many games that can be... I mean, every game can be counterfeit if you know where to look. So I wonder if they're just referencing specifically Xbox apps and with the actual Xbox app on the Windows 10 and Xbox games. I would imagine they're referencing that more than actual PC games that you can counterfeit. Not saying it's a good idea. Don't ever counterfeit games. If you like it, buy it. But this would scare a lot of people, I would imagine.
Well, are they scared because that means that Microsoft is diving into their system pretty deeply and spying on them? Is that
possibly,
the issue?
But I think most of them are probably more worried about their counterfeit games not working on Windows 10.
Well, let me put it this way. If your concern is privacy, I can understand that as a person. This is just, opinion, warning, Sean's opinion, not reporting news. If you're worried about privacy, that's fine. I can understand why you don't want people spying on you, invasion of privacy, that part I get. If it's, I don't like that my counterfeit games are not going to work, that's kind of a poor reason. So,
yeah.
Like I said, if you're worried about spying and stuff, that's cool. I get behind privacy, that's cool. But oh, it won't work because I didn't download it and pay for it. Like, oh man.
It's like the ultimate first world problem.
Yeah.
My games don't work because I didn't pay for it. Wow.
I mean, I know games are expensive, but like Zach said, if you like it, buy it. Save up for it, work it out. If you're over 18 and we're looking for writers in a few months, work for WinBeta.
Yeah. People are complaining in the comments that my audio is up and down. I told you guys, I can't get it. I'm fighting the volume rocker. It keeps trying to... Look, if I let it go, it's just going to keep going down and down, and I'm going to get quieter and quieter. So if I'm dropping slightly, it's because I'm pulling it back up. But if I just leave it, I'm going to get quieter and quieter. I'm going to leave it for a little while and see people complain. And then, because I can fix it in post. The rebroadcast people, they don't hear this issue. They just hear a nice flat thing. But you lot who keep complaining, you get to hear me get quiet. So let's continue.
That's one of the benefits of the live stream, is you get to hear the raw, edited by Skype emotion.
Yeah, Skype likes to intervene a lot, I've noticed, with the podcast.
Yeah, there's that. I don't know anything else about the counterfeit games. I don't know much about this, to be blunt.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Microsoft hasn't been very clear with what they mean, so it's like we'd have to wait and see. I mean, I would be very surprised if somebody who pirated a game installs Windows 10 and can't run it.
Right. Yeah.
A PC game, at least. I mean, like an Xbox, games that have run on both Xbox and Windows 10, and like the streamed games, or all the Xbox Microsoft stuff. I would see this being a thing, but with actual PC games that have nothing to do with Microsoft, I'm not seeing that as an issue.
Right. Yeah. I hope that they don't do anything that loses public will, and like I said, privacy stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess moving on from that, what are your plans for this October, Zach?
I am going to go on holiday.
Yeah, see, you're going on holiday. My birthday's in October.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of my favorite times a year.
I'll tell you what, we should leave the country and go somewhere where there's like no technology, because I'm not sure. No
internet. Why don't? Yeah, well, you and we get our friends. We'll all go on like a trip to like.
I'm
somewhere
sure we won't miss anything.
In Europe, right?
Yes, in Europe, far away from America.
Yes, I'll be back in Europe, and we can go touring, hike the Alps or something fun, right? In any event, so yeah, joking aside, there's going to be a launch event in October, which we won't miss. Tons of coverage. We're going to be super busy because I guess this is still, let's see here. There's going to be a launch event. This is like reported, but it's not official, right? I don't think Microsoft hasn't said this, but The Verge and WP Dang and probably some other sites now also, since this original posting, have reported that there's going to be a launch event in October this year. So I guess just take this, with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty confident that the timing and stuff's accurate and everything else. It's going to include a Surface Pro 4, a Microsoft Band 2. It'll include the flagship phones most likely. And then there's like this rumor about like other Microsoft hardware that people aren't sure about. Some people say, could it be an Xbox One Slim? Some people are saying, could it be a Surface Mini? I have no idea. I think that the big draw is that with Surface Pro 4 is going to be huge, because everything on our site, anything Surface Pro 4 related, is through the roof. So I'm sure if there's anything Surface Pro 4, people go nuts. Band 2, less excitement, but for me personally, I like that. You have a Band 1. You like pretty good, right?
When I wear it. It's too clunky. I don't wear it every day anymore.
Well, there you go. Hopefully the Band 2 will be less.
Yeah.
And then you have, let's see here. Yeah, I mean the other ones as well. I think the flagships are probably some of the biggest news, because it's such a big change.
I mean, the Xbox One Slim would be pretty big, and that's something I'd definitely be interested in.
Do you think that's actually going to happen?
I would like to see it happen, because it's about time. Because, I mean, 18 months to 20 months into an Xbox release cycle, there's always a slim or a new version of the console that comes out. But with the Xbox One, that hasn't been the case.
If you buy an Xbox One Slim, can I buy your old Xbox One?
Absolutely.
Yeah! See, now I'm excited for Xbox One Slim. Yeah.
Then we can have the WinBeta Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great. You can beat me in Halo, because I haven't played it since I was like 16. I'll be over there like, oh, look at this, and you'll be like, yeah, that's been around since Halo 4, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Where's Cortana? And you're like, oh no,
Cortana died.
Oh no, Cortana. I'm telling you, man, Skynet sent Cortana back in time onto Windows 10 so she can prevent her own death.
That sounds likely.
That's very likely. Some people also think they could be talking about a year from now's Surface phone, but then later kind of people point out, why would they announce the Surface phone a year from now?
Yeah, I wouldn't see that.
If they have flagships that they could give you today.
Project Juggernaut Alpha in October.
Project Juggernaut Alpha.
No, I don't think they're going to announce anything about a Surface phone yet.
Yeah.
Not until early next year, at least.
So let's go through some of these, what you want to kind of see at this event. Surface Pro 4, what do you think? What do you think is going to be some of the bigger changes in Surface Pro 4?
Let's see. I mean, there's not a lot to improve on. I mean, obviously, a Windows Hello sensor of some kind. A USB-C would be a good one.
I'm not sure they're going to do USB-C.
Why not?
Because the docking station. They promised enterprises that they could invest in the Surface Pro 3 docking station and that means they're kind of locked to that shape factor, right?
No, you're right. Yeah, so they could have like both, maybe. Like
I guess.
Mini and
a lot of ports. I'm looking at my Surface Pro 2 right now. I have headphones in, USB there, power here. There's a VGA thing there. I guess you could shove a USB-C somewhere. But.
Well, there's a micro SD mini micro SD under the kickstand. I'm sure there is. On my Surface 3 there is. So
on the Surface Pro 2, it's on the side. They moved to the back for this.
Oh yeah. Right.
Which is great. It's fine there too. Skylake probably.
Oh yeah, obviously Skylake. That's like maybe a bigger screen.
Yeah, some people have said like, how could you work this with the docking station? And also, I guess I would ask, is that going against their word if they changed it? Like if they had a 12-inch Surface Pro 4 and a 14-inch Surface Pro 4.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But the 12-inch one works with the docking station. I don't really think they'd be lying.
So they could have the Surface 4, which is like the 10.8-inch, the Surface Pro 4, which is like the 12-inch, and the Surface Pro 4, which is the
or the Surface
14.
Pro 4 XL.
Or the Pro, yeah, but see, that's just diving into Lumia branding, and that's mixing up. We've got to keep them separate, remember? Surface and Lumia, two different things.
Surface Hub Mini.
Oh, that's really mini. From 40 inches down to 14. extra mini.
I don't know. I mean, I think, yeah.
Surface Pro 4.1.
I don't know what they do.
Or Surface Pro 14. For this 14-inch, I don't know. It'd be difficult. So
I think, let's see what else. I want the Surface Pro 4 keyboard to be Bluetooth built in. I shouldn't have to have that little bar that you put on the edge of the type cover. I have a Bluetooth.
What do you mean?
Like, this keyboard is very tiny.
You mean that?
I can't see you because I'm like a minute behind.
All right, well, you'll see it in a minute, then you can comment.
I guess what I'm saying is
you're talking about like the attached type cover thing?
Yeah, I want the type cover to also be Bluetooth if you detach it from the Surface. I want it to work if it's connected when you're on the go, and also work Bluetooth if you're at somewhere else.
I've not heard of that idea before.
I actually might do an article on this, to be honest, because if you have multiple monitors and you're using your Surface keyboard, I know some people would just have like a full desktop keyboard, but if you have like a monitor and then your Surface to the left, you want to be facing the biggest screen, right?
Yeah.
But if your keyboard is physically attached to your Surface, you have to kind of be like this way, and then have your big monitor here.
Oh, you're right.
And it just doesn't work very smoothly. This keyboard that I have here is very cheap compared to the type cover, at least. It's not. I wouldn't say very cheap. It's under $100. It's on sale now. I got a new one for $70, and it's Bluetooth. It's very similar to the type cover. It does not have a trackpad.
But doesn't it have that gap in the middle?
But you don't have to have that. That's just so it can fold. But it's not. I mean, you could just have a type cover with the Bluetooth technology.
Yeah.
This.
That's very interesting. I've never thought of that before.
They absolutely need to have that, in my opinion, because to be blunt, someone once tweeted me and they were like, "The Surface isn't a laptop," and I was like, "It runs full Windows. I can do Photoshop, etc." And he's like, "It's still not a laptop," and I was so angry. But now, to be honest, my Surface is kind of like a tablet and then like a mobile desktop.
Right.
Like you can't, because it doesn't have a hinge, you really can't use the Surface on like your lap so much. And in the commercials, you don't really see people doing that much. It's usually like they have it in their hand and they're like, I have a Surface. And then they put it on like a desk and they're like, and now I can type.
Yeah.
So it's really like a portable desktop and a tablet. And then with the docking station, it's like a desktop.
Right.
So I think a Bluetooth cover would be great.
No, yeah, I've never thought of that before. That's actually a good idea. Microsoft, you need to hire us.
See, that's what I mean. Someone also said internal pen slot. That'd be fun, but I don't know if they could work it.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's be fair, the Surface 3 already is pretty goddamn... I mean, the Surface Pro 3 as well. Pretty goddamn slim. You aren't getting a pen in there.
No, certainly not the Surface Pro 3 pen. Like, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, unless they make it thinner, which would make writing harder, because, like, the thinner it is, the harder it would be to write, so...
What if they had a Surface Type cover for, like, $50, and then a Surface Type Bluetooth cover for, like, $100?
What, like a full case cover?
I don't know. I'm just saying that the type cover is improved every generation. The next natural generation is they have shoved Bluetooth into this. They can fit it in a type cover.
I mean, yeah, they could fit it there. There's no problem. But whether they would do it, because most people are going to be using it if they're typing keyboards attached. I mean, this would also cause issues with what's it? Continuum.
Yeah.
You didn't think of that, did you?
No, I mean, I use it, and I have to manually switch from one to the other.
You shouldn't have to. Oh, yeah, because you've got Bluetooth. I mean, with your...
That's the next feature they need in Continuum, is a Bluetooth keyboard attached automatically switch.
Yeah.
They really should do... It shouldn't have to be like a hard connection. It should be... Because my device knows that my Bluetooth keyboard is attached right now. If I close it or disconnect it, it should switch to tablet mode if I want. And then if I open it, it should automatically switch to desktop.
Right, yeah.
So that's the big thing for me.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good idea. I've never thought of that before. As long as they can figure out I always get the word, I keep calling it continuum. It is continuum, right?
It is continuum.
Yeah, I think it's something else like fancy.
You're trying to say contuminium because you're British.
It's probably... All right, then. Moving on.
Yeah, other stuff. Search Band 2, make it smaller.
Yeah, make it thin. Make it more like the Apple Watch. Thank you.
Yeah, there's that. Music controls, that'd be great. Control Groove Music through Microsoft Band.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Is it me? Is it you?
No, it's me. Sad news. Yeah, so we already knew this a bit. Microsoft, because the acquisition of Nokia kind of didn't work out, and because they've consolidated their hardware into one giant umbrella, or under one giant umbrella. It's not physically one umbrella, it's under an umbrella, metaphorically. In any event, as a result of that, 2,300 jobs are going to be cut in Finland, including, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the city, because I don't speak Finnish, but Salo in Finland is having a manufacturing plant closed. They're going to keep their offices in Espoo and Tampere. Again, this could be completely pronounced wrong. I apologize. Okay, I haven't done news reading yet. That's next year. Maybe 2 years. Whatever. It's later. I haven't done that yet. So this sad news, we already knew about the sad news here. This is part of the 7,800 employees that are going to be laid off. But now we know where 2,300 of those 7,800 layoffs are going to be. So that's sad news. I put in here, I said... cutting this many jobs and shutting down a plant certainly qualifies as a tough decision for Satya Nadella. Let me see here. Despite it being tough and affecting thousands of former employees, the decision is viewed by many as necessary to move forward with Microsoft's overall strategy.
Right. So, I mean, as per usual, always sad news when people are losing their jobs, but Microsoft is reforming after this Nokia acquisition, and it's kind of what they have to do. It's not easy being a boss. By the looks of things.
No, it's not. And like I said.
And it's not easy being somebody who gets fired either, so... Oh well, I guess.
Good luck to all of them.
Yeah.
Finland's probably a very nice country.
Will this be the last of their,
Well, this is a big... I mean, they're going to lay off... Obviously, they're a giant company. They're going to lay off people every day. Or not every day. They're going to lay off people...
over the time, obviously. But
is it worth announcing... this is a chunk of 2,300 in one location.
Yeah.
So that's why this is, like, big news.
Yeah.
If it was, like, 50 people somewhere, that's still sad for those 50 people. But generally, for it to be newsworthy... This is, like, a whole town has, like, thousands of employees... and they're now gone, so that's why it's more newsworthy, I think.
Right, yeah. It's sad all the time, but It's needed, really. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's Microsoft's fault for making the acquisition, but Nokia were going. Were Nokia not going under anyway? They weren't doing too well before the acquisition. I know that much.
Yeah, one of our writers actually had a good point on that. Some people didn't like the Nokia acquisition, or Nokia if you're in America. But the Nokia acquisition, people are like, eh. But on the other hand, there was word on the street that Nokia was going to start making Android phones.
Yeah, because Windows Phone wasn't doing it for them, and they
So
Steve Ballmer dived for them, and grabbed them and kept them safe. So
we had a whole feature actually this week, which is worth checking out, on like the death of Windows Phone and the birth, and it even went over like some of the. It's a really extensive article on the history of Windows Phone and the future of Windows 10 Mobile from Sean Cameron. So if people want to find out more about that, that's one of our big stories from this week. But yeah, I mean, they were going to go. So can you imagine Windows 10 Mobile without Nokia or without like Lumia phones?
There wouldn't be any.
I don't think it'd be a thing.
That wouldn't be a thing.
There you go.
Just non-existent. You'd have
so look at that.
The
Steve
Samsung.
Ballmer. Steve Ballmer. He saved Windows Phone and he saved the Xbox.
He did. He did indeed.
And yet people still hate him.
Well, I wouldn't say hate. He was different. I liked Ballmer.
He did Windows Phone and the Xbox, my friend.
Yeah. And that was about it. No, he did Windows 7. Did he do Vista? You think? No, Vista was Bill Gates, I think. 7 was Ballmer. I can't remember.
That sounds right. Anyway, well, speaking of Xbox, we have some Xbox stuff from this week, right?
Yes, we do. Guess what, guys? Microsoft. Did we cover this last week? There was a bunch of Redditors found a way to enable a secret, super high quality streaming function, which streams
super high quality, also known as, isn't it 1080p 60 FPS?
Yeah,
super high quality.
But yeah, it wasn't there before, and now Microsoft has come out this week and said we've got a new update for the Xbox app, which actually enables this officially. So those of you who have excellent internet speeds can now stream your Xbox One games from your Xbox to your PC at 1080p 60 frames a second, which is great and all, but pro gamers, as I'm going to say this every time we bring up the game streaming, pro gamers aren't going to be using this because the latency is too big.
I still want to know, like, I know that when we talk about this, people get excited. I'm still not sure why I want this.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Xbox since Windows 10 came out, and I've never sat there and gone, let me stream my game to my PC. I've just gone and sat on the sofa or couch, wherever you're from, played a bit of Xbox on my telly, and, I guess this is for PC gamers when keyboard and mouse support comes. I'm sure of it.
And then they could just play their Xbox games or their PC games from their PC.
Yeah.
I guess for, like, me, TV streaming is actually, onto any other device in the house, is actually a much better feature. Because I could understand, like, I want to watch TV, well, I want to play Xbox, and like, but, like, if you have streaming TV, then I can play with no lag on the big screen, and then someone else on their tablet can watch. That is a feature that I actually would use in a household situation.
Weirdly, though, it doesn't work the other way around. You can't have streaming a game and TV on the actual Xbox.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it doesn't work that way. But, like, TV, if there's a second or two lag, it doesn't matter.
I suppose you're right, yeah.
I mean, unless you're trying to use the remote. So, like, and it's not a second or two anyway. It's, like, noticeable if you're playing games, but if you're using a remote control on your TV, it's not noticeable, I'm sure. Or it's not a huge deal. Like, I have a Slingbox, and that can have some serious lag, because I'm, like, streaming cable legally from America to England.
Yeah.
And so, understandably, hitting the menu button takes a little bit of time to travel 7,000 miles.
No, yeah, but yeah, tell you it doesn't. I mean, you might be a minute behind, but you're not, like, playing and competitively with other people. So yeah, no, that makes sense. So so high quality streaming coming to Xbox One, is on Xbox One now, which is great.
And built right in, which, if it was already there, why not just show it?
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, they might have been working on it slightly. So now it's there. It's great.
Sweet.
There's also more Xbox news this week. But Sean, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to play a game over a decade old on your Xbox One? You don't own an Xbox One, so don't answer that.
I did own. I had an original Xbox, and I actually could definitely see some people.
Well, would you like to play your original Xbox games on your Xbox One?
I could see a need for it. Yeah, it's one of these things. People spend games are expensive, especially console games. And if I still had my library from before, I could be like, look, you spend hundreds of dollars on a game.
It's a nice addition, but I mean, the reason I would want it on Xbox One the most is so I can just I can talk to like PlayStation fans and go, guess what? My Xbox One could play games released over a decade ago. What can your PlayStation 4 play? Oh, just PlayStation 4 games. What a shame. Oh, well.
So, I guess for the record, this isn't a thing yet, but it might be.
Yes, yeah, we should clarify. Somebody asked Phil Spencer whether backwards compatibility for original Xbox games could be possible. And Phil Spencer said, I don't think this is a silly question. I ask the backwards compatibility team every day. They're still finalising backwards compatibility for Xbox 360 right now, but they haven't written it off for original games, which is very interesting. And if they can do it, I mean, sure, Halo 2 for Xbox Original on my Xbox One, I'm having it. You know, GoldenEye, I'm having it.
See, yeah, and that's what I mean is some games transcend graphics.
Yes, absolutely.
And other games...
Timesplitters, I loved Timesplitters.
Yeah, there are just games that are just fun regardless of the graphics, and they're just worth playing sometimes. And especially if you already have them, especially if you already had them digitally, could you do that with the original Xbox?
No digital games on original Xbox.
Okay, never mind. So if you already have them, then it's great. And because they already figured out this virtual Xbox 360 inside an Xbox One, it actually gives you hope that this is actually possible.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not like compatible. Like, it doesn't work. They'd have to probably do this virtual thing again, right? You'd have to have two virtual machines inside your already existing.
you know what they should do? You know how Microsoft is currently nabbing Android apps and having them like run and emulated on Windows Phone? They should just take, you know where I'm going with this. They should just grab Sony games, PlayStation games, and just emulate them on Xbox. And
what if they said like, our new Universal Windows 10 platform lets you port Android and iOS games into Windows 10. And our new Universal Xbox platform allows you to play PlayStation and Nintendo games.
If they could do that, that would be the biggest gaming news ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Obviously it'll never happen.
Yeah,
but
it would be nice.
I would love if you could play like Nintendo games on an Xbox One. Otherwise, because honestly, I will keep my Wii U for Nintendo exclusives and then have an Xbox One for Xbox stuff. Because, like, Mario isn't on the other platforms. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a beast at Mario Kart 8. So I'm never giving that up. Like, that's... So, in any event, I guess to get on the original Xbox One, yeah, I think there are some games people would want.
Yeah. And it's good that it could be coming in the future. So, hooray!
Hooray, hurrah! Yeah, they got other things to do, but maybe over time we'll get that. Well, Zach, we got time for one little bit of story, right?
We absolutely do.
Yeah! So, I thought this kind of cool. The Intel RealSense camera can tell the difference between identical twins.
Well, isn't this to be expected? Because if it couldn't, that'd be a pretty big security flaw.
Yeah, but it's still... Look, first of all, there are two reasons I like this story. One, it's nice that it can tell the difference from a functional perspective. Some software that relies on, like, images and stuff gets fooled by photos and that sort of thing. And I could understand if it was only image-based, which it's not, getting fooled by identical twins, particularly because we've all probably met a set of twins before. Some identical twins look even more identical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just look and you're like, you're the same fitness level. Your hairstyles are the same. Like, one of my friends got married, and he was in a suit with a jacket, like a 3-piece suit, and the other one was in just a vest. And honestly, I couldn't really tell them apart, except that I knew that the groom had a jacket on. Right. And my mom is really good at identifying twins, and she looks and she says, even for me, it's pretty hard. And so I could see like an image-based thing getting fooled, but it's a 3D camera. I'm glad that it could tell the difference. I'm also very impressed, and I have to admit, this makes me very biased. As a journalist, this is such a good story to do. We wrangled up a bunch of twins and had a 3D camera see if it could tell them apart. And you're just like, this is great. Everyone's going to click this. So that's one of the reasons I like the story so much.
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool. And I can't wait to get an Intel or, you know, a Windows Hello supported camera so I can So I can actually, log in with my face. That's just awesome.
I'm sorry. One of our commenters just said, Eduardo goes, could the Intel camera tell the difference between me and me from the future? Possible security issue if not.
Wow. That's a good question. Mind
I was reading it as like time travel, so not real.
No, but imagine this. Imagine if you set up Windows Hello, and then you go on like a trip around the world, and you're gone for years, and then you come back and you sit down in front of your computer, and Windows Hello's like, who are you?
Well, yeah, I've lost like over 80 pounds in my life, and at one point I'd lost more than that, and so my weight has fluctuated quite a bit.
Like people get fatter, people get slimmer, people change their hairstyle, hair color.
So I do wonder what it'll
makeup
do with
for
that.
Girls or boys. Boys can wear makeup too. Absolutely fine. Let's not.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I assume you'll always be able to also log in with your password and then like update it.
Yeah, of course. But the question is raised is still an interesting one.
Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. Tell you what, someone should set up Windows Hello and then just not use it for 10 years and then come back. I think that should be a thing.
All right. Well, you and I get a RealSense camera. I will save it and then see if in 10 years it still works without updating anything. And I'll write that post. And if we're still doing the podcast, we'll talk about it.
The podcast episode 10,008.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Some it's a plastic surgery as well. But yeah, like I said, you just log in and could update it, I assume.
I know, but we like to find flaws of Windows Hello here. Well, I guess it's not a flaw if they can't get in.
What if I join the Men in Black and they burn my fingerprints off, Zach?
Well, you can't get in then.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these aren't security flaws, though, because,
it's not a security flaw, it's a me logging in flaw.
You just can't get in. I mean, like, a security flaw is fooling it to let you in. That'd be a problem. Right. But, I mean, if you grow old and it just doesn't see you, I guess the world doesn't end. But if somebody that looks like you gets in with their face, then that's a problem, which apparently Windows Hello is foolproof as of right now, so...
Zach, I need you to get your skip to this part of the YouTube and send it to Microsoft ready.
Okay.
Microsoft has a lot of Mission Impossible product placement.
Yes, they do.
The next Mission Impossible needs to have them try to break into a building with Microsoft Hello or with Windows Hello and not be able to get in. He's like, this is triple encrypted. You have to get in. It can even tell the difference between identical twins. And he's like, you mean I can't use our mask machine? And it's like, no. Iris scanners don't work with it. Fingerprint scanners are secure. We can't get into this building. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess we'll have to just shoot everyone.
That's a good idea.
Then Simon Pegg and them will have to, they've been trying so hard to make Jeremy Renner replace Tom Cruise, and they'll all have to try to get in, and they'll have to find another way.
Greatness. Hired for marketing. Right?
And he'll be attached, and he'll be clinging onto a spaceship.
The podcast is just one big CV for our marketing jobs, I think.
Someday.
When I apply for the marketing job at Microsoft, I'm just going to go, look at our podcast, watch them all, that's our CV.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, news we're done with?
I think we're done. I think that's the podcast. We've actually had a long podcast today.
Do you want to do Ask WinBeta?
You can if you want.
Okay. I'll do one.
Okay.
Ask WinBeta, hashtag Ask WinBeta. If you have a question, go ahead. If not, whatever. Are there any keyboard shortcuts for Groove? For example, pause play with the spacebar. Very tedious to use the mouse. I agree. Pause spacebar kind of works. The other shortcuts don't seem to. I tried the old Zune shortcuts. Didn't seem to work. Don't seem to be a lot of keyboard shortcuts with Groove right now. So good luck with that. If you have any other questions, let us know in all the various many channels you can talk to us on. But yeah, I guess that's it for the podcast this week, huh?
Yep, pretty much.
Well, this has been the WinBeta Podcast, episode 29. I know it now because it's right on the screen and you said it. Episode 29 for the week of August 21st, 2015. As always, I am one of your hosts, Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK, which you can see right here if you're watching the video. And you can find our other co-host, Zach.
At ZachB_.
That's Zac Bowden or Bowden, depending on, what stage in time travel you're willing to talk to Zac in.
Today it's Bowden, tomorrow it's Bowden.
Well, didn't it used to be something else? And I used to have a last name, so,
Used to. And now I'm just Zac. I'm Zac B.
Yep, exactly. You can find us on WinBeta at WinBetaDOTORG on Twitter. Also have things on all the other social media stuff. And you can find our website, which, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, is newly revamped and updated, powered by WordPress. We're big fans of it. So there you go. Again, that's the podcast. Thank you for joining us again. We will see you on the next one.